Hi, I'm Alex Beckstedt.
And I'm Jillian and Alex.
Thanks for joining us on the 10-Minute Tack-Up, brought to you by My New Horse. We're going to sit down for a quick, honest chat about all things horse ownership. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the 10-Minute Tack-Up. Jillian and I are going to talk about preparing your horse for his first, or not even his first, off-farm outing or horse show. Because, Jillian, I heard that you took Shiloh to his first horse show last week. How'd it go?
I did. I brought him over to the World Equestrian Center since they do free classes for horses under 6, so they can show from the 2-foot to the 2-6, and the whole division is free. So I was like, you know what?
Nice.
Why not? Let's just bring him over, kind of gauge where he's at and what needs worked on. I was a nervous wreck. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much that could happen. There's so much commotion at shows. Like, he might be frantic. No, he was a trooper. He was just like, okay, you want me to do this? I'll do it. Like, people on their scooters, dogs, people opening doors, like just the normal stuff.
There's a lot of activity at a show like that. I know.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, what is going to set him off? Like, if anything, like, what will it be? Nothing. He was just like,
Good boy, Shiloh.
I think he loved the fact that he had like a big fan in his stall, because at the World Equestrian Center, they have them and you can just flip them on and off. And every time I'd walk in there, he'd be under it, like with his head up, like, oh, this is amazing. I'm like, you're so spoiled. Because it's been so hot here in Florida. So it's all air conditioned there. So we're like, yeah, let's go.
Well, that's even nicer, man.
Yeah.
Air conditioned show facility. Yes, please.
It was amazing. He ended up finishing reserve in the USHJ 2-foot with one of my trainers.
Yay.
And I was, like I said, the ribbon didn't really matter. Obviously, it made it better, but I was really proud of him because he really kept all of his pieces and parts together. He has a big opinion. So he was really good, but I think also it was just getting him ready for the show too, like we talked about, like making sure we had everything, making sure the trailer was loaded, supplements, hay, just not that it's a big thing to worry about, but there's so many little things that we always have to make sure we pack.
Yeah. So what are like the essentials that you have to bring?
Well, I always bring my loofah for his baths. That's
Well, we know about your
non-negotiable.
loofah. Yes.
Just like his slinky, his stall bag, making sure he's on healthy coat for obviously his coat because he's really sun bleached right now. So we're still trying to keep his coat looking good even though he's sun bleached. He's not really on any other supplements at this time. So making sure we have fly spray and making sure we have seam rippers and making sure that I bring the right saddle and girth and bridle and all that kind of stuff. But the good thing is the horse show is only about 15 minutes from the home farm. So
nice.
If we ever forget anything, it's very easy to run back and grab it. But yeah, he was such a good boy. And this wasn't his first time off the property, because earlier this year I brought him to the World Equestrian Center for a quarter horse show and Foxley in Venice for a quarter horse show. And the first time he was at the World Equestrian Center, he was like, ah! Like everything was just happening. So I think learning from that, we understood like, okay, he might need earplugs when we're hacking him or when we're showing him. We need to get him out a little bit earlier, and I would graze him around the property or just throw him on the lunge line and just let him do whatever he wanted. As in, like, I didn't bring out a whip or anything like to make him work, but it was more of like stretch your legs if you have something new, and just really kind of giving him that time instead of rushing him into it for him to be like, okay, like I'm out of my stall, we're doing something. And yeah, I was just really impressed with him because it could have gone the complete opposite way.
Absolutely. I've had that complete opposite experience, but I think you bring up a good point. Like, just if you're able to just to take your time and have patience in those situations, because these horses are already stressed enough leaving their home farm, whether it's just for a day trip or for a week or weekend. To just the hand walking, the hand grazing, the just letting them stand around on a lead rope and watch life go by. That, especially for like the young horses. Because I know I had a homebred that I started taking her off property to little horse shows if my trainer had an extra slot on the trailer when she was as young as a yearling or 2 years old, just so that she could just walk around and and see what life is like off the farm. And I think it
Yeah.
made her a better citizen for sure.
Yeah, and, like, did it take time out of my day? Yeah, but I didn't mind it, and I know he didn't mind it, so I was like, "I'm here, let's just get him exposed to everything." We ended up trail riding him around the property, and I was
Fun.
like, that was great for him just to, like you said, just get exposed to everything. And I think the thing too that I had to remember is to not set unrealistic expectations and be realistic on where we're gonna
Yeah.
be at. Like, it's okay if he goes in the ring and is running around, or not really, but you know what I mean? Like, not getting his leads, or he's just kind of being a turd. It's like, he's only 4, he's gonna be 5 in February. Like, it's really not that serious at the end of the day. We're doing this for fun. So
Yeah, I think as long as things are safe,
Mhm.
I mean, the spooking and the baby moments are fine. I think that's in my opinion, a very controlled environment on showgrounds like that. I'm thinking of
Yeah.
some of these other, some of these other situations. Like we had a horse park near where I lived in Kentucky, and it had 600 acres of just land free to ride on, go cross country, trail obstacles, stuff like that. So when something went wrong there, it was a little less controlled. You kind of had to have a plan for what you were going to do. Like
I'm guessing you've had that happen to you before?
nothing bad, nothing that felt unsafe, but I have seen other people in some not so safe situations because
Yeah.
they bring a green or inexperienced or first time horse out to the great wide open, and they don't have a plan for how they're gonna handle that horse and keep him calm and unstressed. And yeah, you have different considerations there.
Yeah. So earlier you mentioned some things that I made sure to bring with me for my first show. What were some of the things you used to make sure you had with me? With you. Some things you had with you for your first horse shows with these horses.
Well, I kind of have like my I would bring a tack trunk full of stuff, and it
Mhm.
would basically be pretty much packed with everything I need, like riding wise, as far as, polos and boots and extra saddle pads and grooming and bathing supplies. So that was pretty standard, just all my riding stuff, anything I could possibly need. And then I would actually bring a calming paste,
Mhm.
a horse show legal calming paste. My
Mhm.
favorite, there's a lot of them on the market, but I think my favorite was Perfect Prep. And that would just I didn't always use it, but if I felt like I needed to take the edge off a nervous Nelly or get them to focus on me instead of everything else that's going on, it doesn't I never felt like it dulled them, but it just helped them focus a little bit. So I'd always pack, something extra to help if I need
Mhm.
it. And like you said, the earplugs are a lifesaver. I love the earplugs, the horse earplugs that you can buy at like any tack shop. So
Yeah. Yeah. I kept saying, I was like, the demons can't talk to him right now. I was like, all the voices in his head, the spooky corners, they can't get to him right now. And I was like, poor guy. I'm like, you just kind of got thrown into this. I'm trying to think of any other considerations to make when you bring your horse off the property for the first time.
I think it's just like keep things as normal as you possibly can. Like
Mhm.
if you can bring a familiar buddy, I know some people aren't traveling to horse shows with a whole barn full of friends. They're doing it solo, but if possible, bring a buddy for your horse, bring hay, and if possible, even some water
Mhm.
for your horse from home so that he's used to eating and drinking the same stuff. I mean, those little details are, I think, going to make both of your lives a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No,
don't forget about yourself. Bring snacks,
that is definitely important.
snacks and water, maybe a change of clothes and shoes.
For sure.
So what do you guys have planned next? Do you have anything anywhere else fun you guys are going?
No, for the rest of the year now, he'll not just, but he'll be at the home farm working on kind of nailing his lead changes. I want to get him into the showmanship, and I really want him to learn how to drive a cart
Oh, that would be so fun.
since my trainer does that a lot with a few of the horses in the barn. So I just feel like it would be nice if he was kind of a jack of all trades. If he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to be forced to do it. But it would just be another cool thing to say, like, oh, if we're at a show and they need someone to fill the class, like, oh, we can go in there and do it.
Yeah.
I think next year is kind of what his 5-year-old year is, when we're going to try to go to the NSBA World Show and Congress and those two bigger shows. But it really just depends on how he's feeling. Originally, the goal was for us to go this year. And then in January, my trainer and I sat down and he was like, he's not ready. And I was like, that's fine. I was like, let's not rush it. Like, let's
Yeah.
keep it slow and steady. I was like, I don't want to haul him all the way to, I think it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when he's not even like I don't want to set him up for failure. I want to set him up for
Right.
success in whatever degree that is. Even if it's not placing, but just for him to put his best self forward in the pen. So yeah, so now it's just kind of working through, okay, what bits does he like? Getting him just more comfortable. He does overthink a lot, so do I, so it's probably not a good combination at times.
The two of you overthinking.
Yeah, not always a good thing. But
do you
just
need earplugs for yourself?
Yes. Yeah, actually, I definitely
I'll send you some calming paste.
Thank you. Anything you could send anyone recommendations for an anxious rider, please send them. I think my trainer would be very happy to hear that I'm something. But yeah, just showing him that what we're asking, although it might be hard right now, is not earth-shattering by any means, and just continuing to like build his confidence.
Yeah. That's so smart. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to rush it. I don't really see need. He's going to hopefully be a 4-lifer, so if even next year we come around the corner and we're like, then we wait. It's not the end of the world to me. It's not. I want him to be happy and healthy before I'm like, oh, well, I want this. Like it's not about me here. It's really about him. So
yeah.
Just once again, keeping expectations realistic.
Keeping expectations realistic. And like we said, patience with the young ones. Well, if anybody else has any tips for taking your horse off property for the first time, drop them in the YouTube comments, email us at mynewhorse@equinenetwork.com, and we will see you next time.